checkered flag. Contact and Brian Rose wins it. A photo finish at the line. Oh, we got a wreck. Will Hewitt's through the trial for the final time, and oh, they're wrecking. Big trouble. Vincent Short sneaks through, and I think Short...
Was the summer before the real world started, and the deal was we would get to go if we cleaned it up and got it running. That is old Winnebago, and winging a prayer down a 65, 5 best friends on football tires. I can still see Billy smiling when we finally made it to Talladega. Boys raised the whiskey in gold glass. Here's to turning up, slowing down, in cars that go real fast. We were laughing and living, drinking and wishing and thinking as that checkered flag was waving. Sure would like to stay Talladega.
Talladega Super Speedway lives up to its name. Of all the closed-circuit motorsports facilities in the world where sanctioned auto races are held, it is the fastest. Constructed by the France family 10 years after Daytona International Speedway, Talladega was built slightly larger at 2.66 miles with steeper 33-degree banking, which guaranteed record-setting speeds. The pole speed for NASCAR's first race in 1969 was a stunning 199.466 miles per hour, almost 30 miles per hour faster than the Indy cars were then lapping at Indy. Rule changes in 1987 meant that Bill Elliott's 212.809 mile per hour lap will likely stand forever as the qualifying record at Talladega and for NASCAR. Talladega is still the fastest track on the schedule. It holds the record for the fastest 500-mile stock car race at 188.354 miles per hour. Mark Martin's winning speed in May of 1997 and produces some of the most exciting door-to-door racing every year. Talladega puts on 5 separate race events each year as host to the NASCAR Cup Series, Xfinity Series, Craftsman Trucks, and the ARCA Series. Tonight, it's the Spark Truck Series EPD 133, and it's next on HBR TV. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the virtual Talladega Super Speedway for the Evan Pienta Designs 133. Let's take a look at the race details for tonight. Race number 8 of this 10-race season. 50 laps the race distance, 71-degree ambient temperature, 64% humidity. Under cloudy skies, a 2-mile-per-hour breeze, track temp at 97 degrees Fahrenheit. Drivers working with a 70% fuel load on board this evening and 2 sets of tires over the wall. Again, 50 laps, 2 sets. They got more than enough rubber to work with. Should not be an issue. No fast repairs to speak of. 1 green-white checkered attempt if we need it. We'll see if it comes down to that or not. Practice just about wrapped up here at the Speedway. I want to make note here again, the Goon Squad Fans Choice Award. That link still in the description each and every week as the season closes to an end. Make sure you get that information filled out. Select the driver that you want to win that Fans Choice Award. There is a prize for the winning driver, so it's not just for fun. I mean, it's fun across the board, but there is a prize involved. So check that out. Click the link, get your information in there, and pick your best driver that you want to see win that award. Looking at the times here at Talladega, fastest so far is the number 58 of Justin Wilson. Chase Berry, Pat Colby, Scott Tompkins, Chris Smith rounding out that top 5. just about to get into the qualifying session. 5 minutes, 2 laps to set the field tonight. Then there'll be a short 5-minute warm-up. We'll take a break at that point. So if you're waiting for a good opportunity to run to the restroom, make yourself a snack or a frosty beverage, the warm-up would be a good time to do it. And just like that, the session is complete. Get right into qualifying. See who takes to the Speedway first. Again, the difference here at the super speedways, Daytona, Talladega, now even at Atlanta Motor Speedways, the times that you're going to see here in qualifying will be quite a bit slower by comparison to the race pace. Obviously, drafting comes into play where you've got all the trucks out there. They kind of split all that wind resistance between all the trucks on track. That horsepower comes into play a bit more. Now, single car laps here at Talladega, you don't have that wind resistance to split across the rest of the field. So you got to rely on all the horsepower under the hood. You cannot lift. You can't put too much input into the steering wheel as you scrub speed when you do that. Johnny Rapp on the Speedway. Different colors this week. He's sporting the Evan Pienta Designs sponsorship. You see him out there in the Mission Barbecue colors. Now see, Johnny's way up the racetrack here on his outlap. Trying to build up speed, build up momentum. Now the top side of the racetrack is the long way around the racetrack, so that's why he's way up there. You don't want to get too close because you can actually produce a little bit of a drag on the aero surfaces of the truck if you're up that high on the racetrack. But you see, as soon as he crosses start-finish, drags the truck back to the bottom of the racetrack. Try to keep it pinned to that yellow line the best you can, but the thing we see a lot of guys do is they'll come up off the bottom like that, just a hair, and they'll turn the truck further down left to keep it on the bottom because, well, that's the short way around. Problem is, as we said, you put more wheel input, you scrub more speed, so in essence, you slip up the track, just keep it where it's at. Johnny Rapp into the tri-oval, finishing up his first timed lap. You can see the start-finish line just past pit exit. Rapp does one and done, 55.078. Pat Colby wraps up his lap two, a 55.545, but he stays in the throttle. We'll stick with the 9 here, see if he can pick up the pace on lap 2. The other thing, too, we may see lap 1 being the faster lap as long as you get a good out lap. Reason for that is as you run on this racetrack, really any racetrack, you're creating friction across the two surfaces of the tire and of the racetrack itself, which makes heat. Heat makes the tire pressures go up. Just like a balloon, when the pressure goes up, the balloon gets bigger. In this case, the tire gets taller, and it sticks that rear spoiler in the air a little bit more than that first lap. So typically you have more drag on the truck on lap 2. Got to get it in that first one by. We'll see if Colby makes a liar out of me here as he's back to start finish, crosses down. Goes way to the inside on exit, but he does pick up 55.073 for Colby. Sits P4. Evan Pienta, another Evan Pienta design scheme, a little bit different, but it is the man himself. Again, it is the EPD 133 here tonight from Talladega. These guys do a great job with their logos and graphics and all that sort of thing. If you need a logo for your league or anything like that, even a paint scheme, I would assume, check out these guys, EPD, Evan Pienta Designs. They do great work. Pienta getting a little bit of cloud cover here in turns 3 and 4. Again, you're wide open all the way around this place, especially in single truck runs. But you almost want the track to be a little slick. So if you run into a situation where you put a little bit too much wheel into it, it does more sliding than scrubbing. Pienta across the line here. Where does the 55 end up? P15 on lap 1, 55.068. Top time right now is Zach Mitchell of 54.959. Almost an identical lap time to Matt Kerkhoff. Ran a 9.59 as well, so that's going to take it out to the 10,000th place, which, well, I extended it to the thousandths and it still wasn't enough, so that's very, very close. Couple guys in the chat already. Chase Berry and Jay Bradley 48 as the session is already in the books. Pienta gets only that one lap in. He'll start, looks like 17th. So with that, they're going to jump right into the 5-minute warm-up session just to try to get everybody back into draft mode. But we're going to step aside here, take a short break. We'll be back with our starting grid after this. Stay with us.
Reynolds is trying everything. The kitchen sink is being thrown at it. They're leaning on each other. Coming into turn number 3. It's going to be a drag race through 3 and 4. Coming back to the line. Here comes Frisch on the bottom.
Richard's going to hold the inside. Tries to be the late breaker here. They're going to be side by side through the final chicane. They bang doors, but keep it clean.
As they're still 4 wide on the run down into the back straightaway. Demerit's looking for a line as well. What is going on in Michigan?
Novak into the fence. They're still beating and banging. And to the line.
He is much faster coming through there. Is there damage on Challenger? Abramitis is ahead. There's going to be a race to the line. Who is going to get it?
Gonna try and stop Smith. He drops down below, throws the block, up the racetrack, throws another block. McCann goes to the outside, 3 wide for the race lead in the win here in Daytona. Crosses the stripe and we're all reckoning. Brian McCann takes the checkered flag. Blaze has newer tires, 6 laps newer to be specific. Into 3 and 4 for the final time. He makes some contact with Zach Millett. Millett drops it back to the bottom. Off of turn number 4 for the final time. Zach Millett's gonna win through the trial for the final time. And oh, they're wrecking. Big trouble. Vincent Short sneaks through, and I think Short's gonna win this. He does. Vincent Short wins.
I met Marcos Garza when we were doing radiothons for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. We needed sponsors to help us raise money, and he's always the first one to jump in. I would describe Marcos and his team as upstanding, someone you can trust, and he is just a genuine guy.
Marcos has been very generous. He has a genuine concern for people. You need somebody that cares about you. And that's what Marcos is, and that's pretty much what this firm is.
The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
Back at Talladega Super Speedway for the Evan Pienta Designs 133. Let's take a look at our starting grid. On the pole position with a lap time of 54.959 seconds, it's the number 23 of Zach Mitchell. Outside front row, it's the 00 of Matt Kerkhoff. And the margin between these two, you can see it right there, folks. It's 0. Goes out to the 10,000th place, but Mitchell must have beat him by just a hair. Row number 2, it's Steve Loving in the number 27. He was only 1/1000th off the pole, and he's starting 3rd. Scotty Sobczak starts 4th. Row 3, it's Justin Wilson and Robert Lido. Row number 4, it's Ellis Thomas and Brandon Ayers. Row 5, Chris Smith and Rye Jones. Starting 11th is Robert Brobst in the 5 machine. Steve Vest, the number 60, will start from the 12th spot. 13th starter, it's Steve Trotter. 14th goes to Nick Saroff. 15th starter is William Lyman. Jake Maki will start in the 16th position. 17th starter, it's the 55 of Evan Pienta. Pat Colby rolls 18th. 19th starter, it's the 52 of Johnny Rapp with James Danforth in the number 88 machine to his right elbow. Starting in the 21st position, it's the 42 of Paul Thomas. Scott Tompkins will start 22nd. 23rd, Nick Lucci, probably his poorest qualifying attempt this season, but again, it's Talladega, so it really doesn't matter all that much. Dylan LeBeau starts 24th. 25th goes to Jay Heishman. 26th, Chase Berry. 27th, Peter Stewart. 28th goes to Brian Brobst in the 11 machine, and Larry Poling, the number 69, will start shotgun on the field in the 29th position. Your starting grid from Talladega Super Speedway field rolling down the backstretch here will be green the next time by. Again, race details, we talked about it early, but 50 laps the race distance, 73-degree ambient temps, 42% humidity, now clear skies. It was cloudier earlier, almost no breeze, track temp up a hair at 98 degrees Fahrenheit. Drivers on a 70% fuel load, 2 sets of tires over the wall, no fast repairs, 0 zip zillage, and 1 attempt at the green-white checkered finish if necessary. I think that covers all the bases. Field formed up. Not the cleanest formation, double-double, but they'll get it squared away as the 60 of Steve Vest closes the gap. Now remember, the start-finish line is further down the racetrack compared to places like Daytona International. It's not in the center of the tri-oval. It is right there at pit out. So the pace car is already in. We'll wait just a bit here before we catch that green flag.
Green flag.
And there it is. Barney with it. We get the call, and he's waving it. We're racing from Talladega. Mitchell with the early lead, the 27 of Loving there right on the tailgate as they exit turn number 2. Truck still coming up to speed. Not a boatload of horsepower under the hoods of these trucks, and a big old pile of drag to worry about. So they're still coming up to speed even with the draft. Should be good to go here in the exit at turn number 4, but they're still in turn 3. Mitchell with the lead. Loving, Wilson, Kerkhoff now. Thomas noses up into the 5th spot. Back in the tri-oval, of course, Daytona, you'd see it right here. Start-finish line, no, it's right here. So that's going to be the question here. It's always do or die at these places, but will they be aggressive? Will they take care of their stuff? A rather short race here at 50 laps only. It might be time to go as soon as they get that first pit stop complete. But meanwhile, Loving maintains the top spot. Mitchell slips back a bit. He loses the lead here. He goes to 6th or 5th in that general vicinity. Kerkhoff working up into the 2nd position as he's now battling with the race leaders. 58 of Justin Wilson to the outside in the Crown Royal Silverado. To the inside, it's still a Toyota and then a Ford. for the race lead. Sobczak working to the outside of the 27 of Loving. Sobczak in the number 81 machine. Justin Wilson in behind, pushing down on the bottom. We've got the 27 truck. That's Steve Loving, maintains that race lead for the time being, but you got relatively equal numbers of trucks top to bottom. Not really an advantage one way or another. I mention that because it is relatively important. We talk about trucks having the numbers, and I don't mean the ones on the doors and the roof. I mean the numbers of trucks in line. The more you have lined up single file together, and I say organized single file, the better off that line is going to move towards the front, the faster it's going to be overall. Now, if you get a bunch of guys that are kind of jumbled out of position, left, right, down that line is going to be a little bit slower versus the other side. Now, right now, both lanes seem to have similar numbers. We got a couple of stragglers that are jumping up the middle here. The 91 machine slips just a bit. That's Rye Jones. Made slight contact with the 80 of Robert Liddell. We're 3 wide here out of turn number 2. So we were talking about that early. The amount of aggression, are we going to see it early on? And it seems like we are. Only 5 laps in, and we're 3 wide inside the top 10. Loving maintains the top spot. Second and third contested here. Kerkhoff on the bottom in the 00. The 81 up top. That's Scotty Sobczak. Justin Wilson just a few feet off the back bumper of the 81 machine. Nobody's pushing terribly hard just yet. You'll see these trucks dance all over the place when that picks up. But for now, it seems that everyone's minding their P's and Q's. Let's go on board with Scotty Sobczak. You want to talk about a traffic jam. It's one thing on the highway at 70 miles an hour. Try 185 miles an hour. Drivers jockeying for position here at the front of the field. Sobczak shuffled back just a bit now into the 6th position as Kerkhoff switches lanes. He goes up to the top of the racetrack. That may have been more to keep some fresh air in the nose of that machine. You cannot stay tucked in behind a truck too terribly long, otherwise you risk it overheating and then ultimately losing the engine. So you see a guy trailing there. It's the 5 of Probst. Robert Probst, that is. He's tucked up behind the 28 of Chris Smith. Those two trucks can create quite a bit of pace and running nose to tail the way that they were, but again, you do run that risk of overheating that engine. Let's ride on board. Probst checked up a bit there in the trial. We'll see if he gets right back to the tailgate of the 28. Wide as the 25 as Scott Tompkins works the high side. Tompkins trying to build a run up top, but not enough trucks to do it. Only 3 to work with for the time being. One of them looks like Evan Pienta. James Danforth too far back to join that group. He could, if he was able to reel him in, pick up some more draft, give him another lap or so. He may be right to the back bumper of those 2 trucks, and they might be able to make a run around, but I don't think they really have the numbers to get it done. Topside's the place to be, but you need more trucks than that. Kerkhoff to the point. Sobczak now second. Loving, Wilson, Mitchell the top 5, and as soon as I say it, it's already changed. 10 laps in of 50 here at Talladega Super Speedway. Matt Kerkhoff leading his first laps of the day, but Loving trying to take it back. He's got help. 81 is Sobczak and Justin Wilson as well. Rye Jones in the 91 trying to work it up the middle. Still 3 wide in the middle of the pack there with Tompkins up top. Pienta there with him. How long can they do this? We got, oh man, it's got to be 12, 16 trucks there, all 3 wide through turns 1 and 2. Bottom side didn't get the run down turn 2, down the back straightaway, same as the middle and the top lanes had. Sobczak's going to retake the top spot off the nose of Justin Wilson. Tompkins maintaining now. He drops down to the middle lane. Sometimes it can pay off, but you got to be careful in the middle because everybody hangs you out to dry there. You don't have anybody in behind you. You can go from the front of the field to the back and not even a half lap. So Wilson now edges out in front. Tompkins had a run. Wilson jumps up to that second lane to block that advance. Robert Liedel in the 3rd spot. Liedel in the black and orange number 80 truck. He leads the outside line. Liddell working the outside here, a little bit more of a run. Pienta's going to give him a push here in the tri-oval. You can do that. There's a bit of a bump on the low lane. You can't get away with it as much there. Tompkins, though, pushing with all he's got. The back of the number 58 Margaritaville machine. That's Justin Wilson in the Purple Crown Royal entry. Liddell in the Churchill Transport machine working the outside, and that F-150 trying to take over the top spot. He's got it for now, but can he get down and get clear? Bottom lane, only 2 trucks really tucked up tight together. Sobczak there, 3rd in line. Another truck in behind. I believe that is the 18 machine. That's Shane Trotter. Big push from Pienta. It's going to move Liddell up towards the front of the field here. You see the difference there. Big time run. That wasn't just drafting, folks. That was a slam bang and push that truck forward. Top 8 trucks in the frame. Wilson with the lead for now. Tompkins gives the 58 a big-time push. Sobczak thought about doing the same, but you don't want to push the pusher, and he is conscientious of that fact. Checks up just a bit into turn 3. Almost leaves a full truck length between the 2 trucks. The 81 and the 25, but he closes the gap quickly out of turn number 4. Liddell still working the outside. The lead truck in that middle lane now as a few trucks try to start up the top side again. It looks like that's Brobst and Kerkhoff again. 15 laps in, we've been clean and green ever since. Going back to Daytona, these guys had a very interesting and very clean first race of the season up until the very end of it. We had a few issues there, but man, these guys show that they can really race hard, really draft well without causing any, well, not any, but too much chaos. Little wiggle there with the 91 and the 23. They keep it going. Probst and Kerkhoff still dedicated to that top lane, trying to make that work. So Brandon Ayre is going to roll up in behind the 5 here, try and make it a 3-truck draft on the top side. Very interesting. Haven't seen anybody duck out of the pack yet. A lot of times when you get too much action and too much aggression at the front of the field early on in a race, once in a while you see a driver or 2 or 3 decide, yeah, it's too rich for my blood, I'm going to drop to the tail here. You see how packed up these guys are. Further back in the pack, though, it's single file. Pretty much from 15th on back. Ryan Jones seemed a little indecisive there in the number 91 as he does run that middle lane. Tucks up behind the 88 of Danforth. Here comes Nick Lucci switching it up, goes to the bottom side, in behind the 44 of Lyman. One driver out of line. I think it's the 18 machine of Shane Trotter. He jumped from the bottom to the middle, again, maybe trying to get some fresh air or had a run that he didn't want to waste. Jumps up in front of Evan Pienta, and it looks like it might pay off a little bit here. They're in turn 1, and he's working his way towards the front. Got to get those other 3 trucks behind him to tighten up a bit, and they can really make a charge. Four trucks on the far outside. You see that they've tightened up quite well. Oh, the 18 of Trotter, a little loose off the nose of Pienta, but he drops it down in front of Justin Wilson. Trotter with the new race leader for the time being, but Pienta with a run on the middle lane. He's going to punch through the center. Can he get clear? Trotter battling back off the nose of Justin Wilson. Wilson giving the 18 a bit of a push back to the stripe. Man, what a last lap that would have been. Pienta would have been the winner, but nope, we got lots to go. It's only lap 18, folks. Trotter battles back on the bottom. A good push again from the 58 of Wilson. Is there a discipline that Wilson's not good at? Because we have yet to see it. Remember, Wilson won at Nashville Super Speedway. He picked up a win at the Glen on the road course. Then again on the short track at Bristol. And here we are at the Super Speedway, running second, doing an excellent job pushing the race leader to keep him out in front for now. Steph Marley in the chat says, there's never too much chaos. I won't argue with that. Pienta went to the race lead, but Danforth stepped out, abandoned the 55. He wanted to go for the lead, but it ended up messing him up. He goes way up the racetrack. He loses a spot to Robert Probst, and that whole outside line lost a ton of momentum. Trotter back to the lead. Wilson still pushing. Tompkins runs third. Pienta going to try and work his way back through. Gets a nose ahead of the 25 into turn number 3. Just like a giant seesaw. They go back and forth and back and forth. Trotter officially leads that lap. Wilson ducks out of line for a second. I thought he was going to drop to the back, but might have just tried to cool off the engine. Tucks right back in behind the 18, but Probst pushes Pienta to the race lead. Pienta's going to drop to the bottom. No room for the 5 to go in. Danforth going to push the 5. The 5 may go around and take the top spot. Only 3 trucks on the outside, but here comes the 44 of William Lyman. He may join this group at the bottom side. Real organized, but no. The 5 of Probst drops to the bottom of the racetrack, adds to those numbers, and takes the top spot. Danforth going to try and side track, try to slow the 5 a bit in the tri-oval, and it does pay off a little bit. Danforth officially leads that lap, but on the outside, here comes Liddell. 3 wide here for the race lead into turn 1. They get away just a bit here as Probst edges out to the advantage, but here comes Pienta with a big run out of turn number 2. Will he get him in the back? He does. A big push to the 5. Nowhere really to go with it. Pienta had to push Probst. Back to the tri-oval, put lap 22 up on the board. Ropes, your leader. Danforth, another run through the tri-oval. Lyman on the back bumper. He's going to give the 88 a big push into turn one. Meanwhile, Wilson in the 58. Again, we talked about him potentially dropping to the back here to get out of the mess. Thought about it, then didn't think about it, but they must have thought about it again because he slipped back to the 9th spot. And pit stop's about to get underway. In fact, they are underway. It's a land rush coming to pit lane here. Everybody and their brother, maybe even their cousins, coming down to pit lane here. Pienta leads them down. No tire smoke or nothing. Those of you who are not racers or iRacers, I don't know if you understand how difficult that really is for all those trucks to peel off the racetrack at speed, under green, to hit pit lane the way that they all just did and not wreck. That was impressive. Handful of trucks stay out on the racetrack. Looks like the top 6 stayed out. William Lyman, Steve Loving, Dylan LeBeau, Pat Colby, Steve Vest, and Robert Liddell. Liddell very slow, though he may be out of gas. Let's go on board. Sounds like it's still running, but how well? Yeah, Liddell's coasting here. If I had him, I'd be in the clutch here, and I'd actually turn the ignition off. I know you got to worry about it trying to refire, but he is very slow in the entrance to pit lane here. I don't think he's going to make it. Everybody else came in, Loving, Vest, Lyman, Colby, and LeBeau. They're just finishing up their pit work now, but Liddell very slow at pit entry. I don't know if this is going to trigger a caution or not. I think he'll get to pit lane. Yes, he will. So Liddell certainly going to lose a lap, probably 2, maybe 3, depending on how long it takes him or if he gets it back to pit lane, or his pit stall, that is. So through the green flag cycle, Evan Pienta led the field to pit lane and comes back out with the race lead. Pienta still slowly moving here. I think he'll finally get to his stall. You don't want to have to tow, but Pienta leads with Wilson hot on his trail. 3rd is Tompkins, then Danforth, and then the 8 of Ellis Thomas. That's your top 5. Then it's Robert Brobst, Nick Lucci, Rye Jones, Chase Berry, Chris Smith. Just past halfway here as we're on lap 25. We'll complete this in just about a half a lap. With that, though, we're going to step aside. We got the green flag stops out of the way. We're going to get a quick HBR TV side-by-side break complete. We'll be back with the pit stops and fuel stories after this. Stay with us.
I met Marco Scarza when we were doing radiothons for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. We needed sponsors to help us raise money, and he's always the first one to jump in. I would describe Marcos and his team as upstanding, someone you can trust, and he is just a genuine guy.
Marcos has been very generous. He has a genuine concern for people. You need somebody that cares about you. And that's what Marcos is, and that's pretty much what this firm is.
The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
met Marcus.
Back at Talladega Super Speedway, 21 laps to go. The battle for the race lead, hot and heavy. Now, we talked about how that pit stop was going to happen, and then things were going to get a little crazy. It's starting to do just that here at the front of the field. But with 21 to go, let's go backtrack a bit here. Those pit stops happened at about lap 22 to lap 23. So if that's their max fuel distance, they're going to need to make a stop before this one's over with like 4 to go. Now, the guy that's out front is going to burn that much more fuel, but again, everybody has to stop anyway. But the key here is to make sure that you can pit with other trucks like we saw in that first round. You don't want to get back out there and try to run the laps by yourself. We saw it in qualifying how much slower these trucks were running. Almost 5 seconds slower in qualifying versus right now. Got to get out there with a group, with other trucks to draft with, so you kind of got to plan ahead. Wilson does not want to lead all the way to the time that it's for him to make a pit stop because he doesn't know if anyone's going to go with him because he's likely to run out of fuel before the rest of the field if he stays out in front. Not sure what happened to Nick Lucci. He is running back in the 28th position, had a very long pit stop. It was 1 minute and 9 seconds. I don't know if he had a problem. Let's see if we can find it here. This is Lucci coming to pit lane here. Locked him up. You see that left front wheel not spinning at all. I drove it in the grass. So definitely not an ideal pit entry, but he may have gotten a penalty at the same token there. Maybe too fast entering. So that's going to be all she wrote, I think, for the 96, unless we get a caution. And guys, I don't know why this is happening, but it will not go live all of a sudden. Work on these technical difficulties. We'll be back in just a minute. Told you it wouldn't be long. But for whatever reason, our replay system is not cooperating, so we may have to avoid that or do it that way every time. I don't care for that, but either way, 18 laps to go here at Talladega Super Speedway. Wilson leads over the 91 of Rye Jones. Jones to the outside. Tompkins right in behind Wilson. Pat Colby up the racetrack. He's riding in behind the 91 machine in that top lane. In behind him, 67 of Nick Saroff. Colby took a peek to the outside, but 67 did not show like he was going to go with him. That's the key. If Colby steps out to make a move here to go around the 91, he needs the 67 to run with him. Otherwise, he's going to get shuffled out and go straight to the rear. Jay Heishman just finishing up a pit stop. I think he was trying to work this one backwards, made his pit stop as soon as he knew he'd have enough fuel to go all the way to the end with a little bit of an insurance policy for that one green-white checkered that we might end up needing. The problem is Heishman goes back out here. He's all by his lonesome. We talked about that a little bit earlier on in this race, how you want to go down and pit with other drivers. You got to get back out there with at least 2 or 3 other trucks so that you're up to race pace. Again, 5 seconds a lap slower by yourself compared to the rest of the field. Now you see the race leader is just exiting turn number 2. Heishman just getting into 3. It will not be long before those leaders catch him. But the only saving grace he has is they're going to need to pit soon as well. And here we go again with the 3 wide here. 3 rows of it. Karakhoff in the first one, way to the outside in that 00 truck. Brandon Ayers right in the tire tracks. Robert Probst in the 5. These 3 trucks working together, trying to make some hay on the top side here. They might be able to get up here. Another truck coming. I think that's Trotter. Trotter trying to reel in this trio. If they get a 4-truck draft, they may have enough to work their way all the way to the front if they get nice and organized. Colby goes up the racetrack here. There we go. There's some more trucks. There's some more help. The middle lane's going to die here with only 2 trucks. They may have some reinforcements coming. There is 3 of them coming up through there. But in what time? Colby's going to lead it on the outside for the time being. Wilson and Tompkins on the bottom. Evan Pienta also there. Danforth rounding out the 4th truck in that low lane. Karakhoff tried to follow Colby down, but not enough room to fit the truck there, so still a 4-truck draft on the outside. It's Karakhoff, Ayers, Probst, and I think Trotter as well. Here comes the 88 of Danforth. Benson Weaver says, finding Johnny in the pack has become significantly harder. We found him. I don't know if you were here at the beginning, Benson, but he's got a different paint scheme this week. He's got the EPD colors on that number 52 instead of Mission Barbecue. Johnny Rapp runs back in the 15th position for now. Battle for the race lead heating up here. Rye Jones pushing Pat Colby, trying to get him around the 58 as the field starts to reel in. The lap truck, Jay Heischman. Heischman goes way up the racetrack, stays out everybody's way. Nicely done for the 90 machine. Oh, a little off-center push. Tompkins pushing the right rear of Wilson down the backstretch. You got to be careful there. You can very easily spin a guy out doing that. Pienta doing the same to Tompkins. I know we're getting to crunch time. Benson Weaver says, missing the big green numbers. That certainly does help locate them. Top 3, Wilson, Tompkins, Pienta, then it's 4th place Colby, and then Danforth. They're side by side for the 4th spot. Out of turn 2, the Alabama Crimson Tide F-150 to the outside. But now he's in the middle with another lane building on the outside. Robert Probst leading that group. It's Brandon Ayers and Karakhoff. They've been trying to work together here for a while, trying to build something. But I don't know if guys are just nervous to go up top there and make that 3rd lane. Chris Smith thought about it, but he jumps back to the middle. Just think those guys on the far outside are going to need more help than just 3 trucks to get this done. It can be done. We've seen it done on the outside, but I don't think 3 is quite enough, especially when you look at the numbers the bottom side's got. Now the top lane, it's Probst and Ayers by themselves. Definitely not going to work with just 2 trucks. They can probably hang on here, but they may need to end up tucking in behind the 28. We've got some drivers coming to pit road. Matt Karakhoff going to be the first to do it. Others coming down with him. Jake Maki, Nick Saroff, Steve Loving, they all come into pit lane same time. This will be all right. 4-truck draft. As long as nobody gets dinged for a penalty, they should be able to get back out there and draft together. Saroff into the box. Loving and Karakhoff also in their pit stalls. Loving drops the jack. He just fires off and goes. It was fuel only for him, fuel only for Maki. Karakov looks like 4 tires in fuel. I don't know if I would have gone that route. Saraf might have taken rights only at 11:23, but Karakov spends the most time in the pits at 15:15. He's going to get out there relatively by himself unless he gets lucky enough to sniff the draft here. Other drivers coming down. Zach Mitchell, and he spins through the grass. The 23 truck, unable to keep it straight on pit entry, loops it around. Shane Trotter came down with him. I don't know if there was some contact or not. Let's take a quick look at it. Yeah, it just locked him up. Trotter watched it all go down as the 23 spins in front of him. Now we got to do it again. So Mitchell sits in the pits here. Is he going to get dinged for the penalty? Looks like he is. Tough break for the 23. 9 to go. Wilson still out front, but things picking up in behind him. Tompkins was all jacked up off the nose of the 51 of Pienta as they're back into turn 1. Outside line, just 2 trucks. It's Colby and Brobst. They're trying to make it work. Maybe a little politicking here at the front of the field. The outside guys trying to get some more help. See Karakov, and here we go. We'll talk about Karakov in a minute, but the pit stops are underway. Race leaders in. Tompkins gets a good thing, and Pienta spins. That's going to catch out a lot of trucks here as he spins in pit lane. Some drivers are going to hit him. I think Robert Brobst was around. Chaos here on pit entry. Wilson was very lucky to not get clipped in the right rear by the spinning truck. He's in the pit box. Fuel only for Pienta, or for Wilson, 6.8 seconds. They did such a good job on that first round, but I told you, it's not easy. So 7 laps to go, green flag pit stops wrapping up. There's still some that need to come down, the top 3, and here they come. Colby, Robert Brobst, and Sobczak. Remember, Sobczak, he won the opening race at the Super Speedways this year. Correction, he won at Texas. Dylan LeBeau won the opening race. So Colby puts tires on at least right sides, 9.9 seconds to stop. Sobczak down and away, Brobst down and away. Looks like fuel only for both of them. Sobczak's going to leave pit lane as the leader, but he's got a ways to go, and the field bearing down on him. I don't know if he's going to be able to hang on to that lead. Okay, here comes Justin Wilson. Wilson at speed. So top 3, it's Wilson, Tompkins, Danforth. And man, did that chaos in pit lane spread out this field. And there's the caution. We got trouble in turn number 2. I don't know if it was Lyman. I think it might have been Lyman. Or Poling. So with 6 laps to go, the caution comes out. This is going to bunch everybody back up just after we finish the pit stops. So that's interesting. Let's see if we can figure out what happened. Again, I got to show the replay, and it's going to be a bit of a to-do to get back live, but we'll figure it out. Oh, so the 69 Poling just comes up the track, and Saraf clips him in the right rear. Good thing there's a fence there. I think the Larry Poling machine would have been out of the ballpark if it weren't for a catch fence. Well, we're going to take a very short break. We'll be back here in just a moment with the restart. Stay with us.
I met Marco Scarza when we were doing radiothons for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. We needed sponsors to help us raise money, and he's always the first one to jump in. I would describe Marcos and his team as upstanding, someone you can trust, and he is just a genuine guy.
Marcos has been very generous. He has a genuine concern for people. You need somebody that cares about you. And that's what Marcos is, and that's pretty much what this firm is.
The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
Back at Talladega Super Speedway for the Evan Pienta Designs 133. In the closing laps here, our first caution of the day. Two truck incident here. They exited turn number 2. We definitely fixed our replay issue. But apparently the software forgot how to count as we're on our 0th caution. These glitches don't happen very often, but sometimes they do happen. So you see the pace car lights are out, though. We do have 3 to go, and I think we'll get the restart officially here. It'll be lap 48. So I think we get a natural green-white checkered attempt here. This does not count towards our allotment, I don't believe. We'll see how things change with the laps to go as they cross the stripe, but I do not think this one's going to count as an official attempt. So if something does happen before the leaders get back to the white, we should still have a green-white checkered in our back pocket if we need it. So Wilson is officially the race leader, but he's going to take the outside lane here, it looks like. So Tompkins in the 25 will restart on the bottom. Pace car still coming to pit lane. We still have to get through this tri-oval before we'll see the green come back out.
Green flag.
And there it is, green back in the air. Let's try to settle this thing here. And there it is, 2 laps to go. Natural green-white checkered attempt. Wilson blocked the 46 of Barry. That's why he took the outside. Knew the 46 would get a good jump. They both go right to the bottom of the racetrack, nose to tail through turns 1 and 2. Oh, trouble. The 81 goes around, almost gets airborne. The caution comes back out.
Are you sure you got your release marks correct coming into pit road? Yes, I do, sir.
Second caution of the day. Ignore the timing tower. It's not right, but there you have it. Oh, no, and the 90 of Heischman clips the 16 of Ayers trying to get down to the bottom. You got to pay attention to that relative. Well, let's take a look at it. I think this started here with the 81 of Sobczak getting hooked in one way or another. Big time impact. I'm going to rewind it a little further here, get a different view. May have been an ill-timed push off the nose of the 9. Or was he just trying to sneak up in front of Brobst? Yeah, he wasn't clear. Sobczak tried to get up in front of the 5 of Brobst, but there was not room to do so, clearly. Multiple trucks scattering to the inside to get clear. Heischman chose the top and unfortunately gets into the driver's side of the 81. Well, there you have it. This will set us up for a green-white checkered attempt. Again, only one attempt here in this series. One, count them, one and only one. Un mas. Pace car light's still on. I expect the one to go maybe the next time by. I think pit stops happen late enough in this race that I don't think we're going to see anybody with fuel issues. Robert Brobst was involved in that incident as the 81 came up and clipped the left front of the 5. Let's see if we can get a look at this from his onboard. Back it up a little further. See how it looked from his inside. Some pretty big hits there for the 81. Taking a closer look here at the 5. I know he was involved in that, but it appears he may have gotten through that without any significant damage. In fact, I can barely see anything, if anything, on that 5 machine. Left front looks pretty good. whole truck looks pretty good. So there you see it. The lights on the pace car have gone off, so we'll try this again. First and only attempt at a green-white checkered finish. It's Justin Wilson, Chase Berry, Scott Tompkins, James Danforth, Pat Colby, Robert Bropes, Johnny Rapp, Chris Smith, Peter Stewart, Steve Loving, the top 10. Some guys did head down pit lane here during that previous caution, lap 46, to take maybe a little bit of fuel, maybe some tires to be a little more maneuverable out there. First driver that made a pit stop was Evan Pienta. He's going to run here in the 13th position. We'll see if he can pick up some extra spots. So 27 is Steve Loving, is dropping the truck way down to the inside. I don't know if he's just trying to make the lap shorter, if he's close on fuel. I can't imagine anybody would be. Never say never, I guess. So this restart should be interesting, though. Again, Wilson chose the top lane the last time to block the run from the 46. Now he doesn't really have that ability. If he chose the top, the 46, I think would have to go to the bottom. So either way, he's going to have Berry alongside. So Wilson will have Tompkins behind, who's shown to be a great pusher here tonight. So that could be a good strategic move as well. Danforth will be starting in behind Chase Berry. And then Colby and Robert Brobst in the third row. Pace car is in.
Green flag.
Green flag is in the air. Wilson on the gas. Waits until he's a little late in the zone to fire, but that just throws off the outside line. Tompkins on the back bumper as they cross start finish and head down into turn number 1. Oh, Danforth up the racetrack, gets into Robert Brobst. They both keep it straight. Nobody's wrecking just yet, but it's going to really kill the momentum of the 5. Down the back straightaway, Wilson leads, but Chase Berry's coming. We got a wreck in behind. Or do we? Kerkhoff straightens it out. Oh, man, that was almost a major impact. Drivers continue on. We stay green for the time being. They got to make it back to the white. Wilson with the race lead. Tompkins second. Colby in behind. Berry leads the outside line. And here comes the outside. Johnny Rapp pushing the 46 of Berry, just about alongside Justin Wilson through the tri-oval. Coming to the flag stand, final lap, white flag in the air, one more time around. Do they make it back without wadding them all up? Wilson shown pace all season long. He's won on a short track, an intermediate, and a road course. Can he lock it down here and pick up a super speedway win? He's got half a lap left to find out. Berry to the outside, a nose in front, not quite clear of the 58 just yet. Wilson battles back on the bottom. Not a ton of drafting help in the outside line, but Rapp is pushing Berry for all he's worth. He doesn't care if that motor blows up, crossing the start finish as long as he gets it there. Out of turn 4, the short chute into the tri-oval. Wilson retakes the top spot. Colby goes to the inside. Coming to the start finish line, Justin Wilson's gonna win it. Wow, what a finish. Justin Wilson out of Florida, picking up yet another win here at Talladega Super Speedway. It's 4th on the season. He's got trophies from Nashville, Watkins Glen, Bristol, and now Talladega Super Speedway. Chase Berry giving congratulations. Dylan LeBeau the same. Justin Wilson slowly rolling through the tri-oval here, getting ready to celebrate, maybe even burn them down here at start-finish. And just like that. All right, folks, stay with us. We'll be right back here with our top three. Hopefully Wilson, Tompkins, and Berry after this. Stay with us.
I met Marco Scarza when we were doing radiothons for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. We needed sponsors to help us raise money, and he's always the first one to jump in. I would describe Marcos and his team as upstanding, someone you can trust, and he is just a genuine guy.
Marcos has been very generous. He has a genuine concern for people. You need somebody that cares about you. And that's what Marcos is, and that's pretty much what this firm is.
The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
Back at Talladega Super Speedway, race number 7 in the books for the Spark Truck Series, the Evan Pienta Designs 133. Justin Wilson picking up race win number 4. We'll see if we can get a word here with the driver of that number 58 machine. Justin Wilson, it's Steve with HBR TV in the booth. You got a copy?
I got you, big money.
Justin, congratulations. 4th win on the season. You picked up a win in an intermediate, a short track, a road course, and now the Super Speedway. Is there anything you can't do?
Man, I don't know. I get lucky sometimes. Thankfully, I had the help on that one. I mean, been working with Scott and Chase pretty much all night, so I kind of felt like we controlled our destiny there because we all lined up in the front.
We want to talk about that second to last restart. You changed things up. You restarted on the top side. Was that intentional, trying to get ahead of the 46 there to either stop his run or have him push you?
Oh, no, we were working together. I felt, I know it was, like I said, me, the 25 and the 46, we were trying to work together. I mean, it's a tough decision to make to start on the outside, but I knew Chase, and I know how he is, we could time it and try to push each other. it was kind of a guess whether we could make it to the bottom or not, but it worked out for us. But we were working together.
Certainly did a great job at that. You both got clear, got down to the bottom of the racetrack. He ends up finishing third. You win this race. A job well done. And, man, Barry passed a bunch of cars starting 26th here tonight. But moving on, more about you. We go to Auto Club Speedway next week. It's too bad that place is no longer, but glad we have it here in the sim. 60 laps out of California Speedway. How do you feel about picking up race win number 5 next week?
I feel pretty good. Auto Club's been a good track for us. Honestly, I'm just truly thankful that this one worked out tonight. This one was one of my worried tracks because you just never know what's going to happen. I needed a good finish here because Homestead is coming up, and I just absolute trash at Homestead. So I don't know what it is about that track. I can't figure it out. So I'm trying to do the best I can to keep it clean, get the points up. I know we just took the points lead last week, so we're going to try and keep it and move on to these last 2 races.
Well, we certainly look forward to it, Justin. A job well done here tonight. You guys ran a very clean race, reminiscent of earlier in the season at Daytona, where we had no issues until the very, very end. That's kind of how it played out again. You avoid the chaos. Want to go back a little bit further here. That last green flag stop, it was a little bit of a calamity coming to pit lane. You almost got clipped in the right rear. Did you see any of that developing in your mirror?
Oh, I 100% saw it, and I was panicking. I was watching my speed, make sure I wasn't speeding, but I heard them tires sliding behind me. So, thankfully, we didn't get caught up in it. I know a few teammates of ours did, but no, fortunate for us, we kept it clean. We had a clean truck, clean pit stops. We executed our pit stops very well tonight. So, I mean, we couldn't ask for a better performance.
Well, Justin, job well done. Congratulations on yet another win here. Who do you want to thank before we let you go?
Well, thank you for putting the show on. Thanks, Spark, for letting me run. It's kind of really my first full-time season with them. Been having fun. Thank Chase, Scott there for running pretty much the whole race together, and we got Dylan and Ryan were also in the race, so I want to thank those guys as well. But yeah, man, I'm feeling good after this one. It's a good, always good to win a super speedway race.
Well, job well done again, man. Thanks for talking to us, and good luck at Auto Club.
Yeah, man. Have a good one.
Justin Wilson, your race winner here from Talladega Super Speedway. Next, we're going to talk to the number 25. That's going to be Scott Tompkins. We'll pull him up into the booth here and get a word with our runner-up, driver of the number 25 Firebird Sign Company machine. Scott, Steve in the booth. You got me?
I got you.
Scott, congratulations. A runner-up finish here tonight. Man, you were one hell of a pusher. We saw that almost all race long. Just keeping the truck in front of you in the wind and continues to go on. Didn't get to that top spot on the final lap, but why don't you walk us through that final lap? Was there anything you could have done differently to maybe take this win from Justin Wilson, or were you just being a big helper at that point?
No, I was just being a helper. Basically, because we were boxed in by Chase regardless, so there was really no move I could make. I've run plenty of these. This paint scheme specifically has run 4 races here at this track, or Super Speedway tracks, and it's finished second, first, and second in 4 races in this Harvick throwback, so you just got to take what it's given you, and you can't force it.
I'd say there's nothing wrong with that. If the paint scheme is bringing you that kind of luck, I'd say keep running it.
Yeah, we got another special paint scheme for Throwback Weekend at Auto Club, and then the normal Firebird will return for Homestead, but it'll be some fun racing, and the next scheme will be a lot of fun.
2 races left in the season, as you mentioned, next week at Auto Club Speedway. We're looking forward to that. Again, a racetrack that's no longer available to us in the real world, but thank goodness we've got it here. How do you run at those intermediate tracks, especially that 2-mile oval out in California?
So California is actually one of my best tracks of all of them. I've done very well there, specifically in these trucks, so I have very high expectations for that race.
Well, Scott, we certainly look forward to it again. Congratulations on a solid run here tonight. Who do you want to shout out to?
I got to shout out Lee Dawson of the Firebird Sign Company. Without him, well, he pays for my league entry. It's a lot of fun. He allows me to do this stuff with his company. He just started this company. He branched off from Blocky that he used to have. This is now his own company, so I got to thank him. I got to thank the Payday guys. They're nothing but a great help. I got to also thank the F. Scott guys. They're a huge help as well. And you for broadcasting, Johnny, and all the admins putting on the league. It's been a blast.
Well, Scott, was a fun one to watch. Again, nice run here. Congratulations, and good luck next week.
Thank you. Have a good one.
Scott Tompkins, your runner-up here at Talladega Super Speedway. Next, we're going to talk to the number 46 driver of the KB's all-around shop. Driver is Chase Berry. We'll see if we can get him up into the booth. If I click all the right buttons. Chase, it's Steve with HBR TV. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got an old copy.
You got it. All right, Chase, congratulations. The third place finish, man. You did some work tonight. Started 26th. Deep in the field, but played the strategy right. What was the key to success here tonight and coming home in that third place finish?
Just staying out of trouble. If I knew if it went green like it did at Daytona, which we did the same thing, starting in the back and then, try to work our way up front. Just wait till green flag pit stops, and then try to get as far up as you can as people are ducking off and pitting, and then that way I'm up at the front, and then try to do the same thing on the second stop. But it just didn't work like that. I sit on the pit stop whenever everybody got into each other. I have no idea how I made it. That's awesome. And then once I got up front, which is shocking to me, I didn't think I was going to get there, coming from 22nd on that last pit stop to working with Justin, Justin Scott, working with teammates out there. It was really, really nice. And then the hell of a push by Johnny. I owe it him getting this third, man. He pushed the crap out of me. It was awesome.
Well, certainly an impressive run to watch. Always exciting, these super speedways. You guys have put on a great show here all season long, but especially on these super speedways. It gets a little chaotic there at the end, but a job well done. The 46 machine in the top 3. We look forward to Auto Club Speedway next week. Obviously not a super speedway, but pretty good size, though, at 2 miles, a fast racetrack. What's the game plan going into Auto Club next week?
I think I'm actually going to try to qualify there, because I know passing there is really hard. Save tires, of course, but try not to wreck it if I qualify. It's one of those things. If I qualify, I tend to tear it up in the first 10 laps. So I try not to qualify, but I'm going to have to qualify and hopefully save position. And I'm actually really good there, between there and Homestead. I'm a lot better at Auto Club, and then Homestead's kind of just like a crapshoot. I kind of don't like it. But yeah, so I think I'll be decent at Auto Club. Hopefully, top 10 is what I'm hoping for. Anything better than that, it's awesome. Anything worse, is what it is. But definitely, I think I can do a top 10. But Homestead's a crapshoot.
Well, Chase, again, congratulations. A third place run here at Talladega. Who do you want to thank before we let you get out of here?
You for broadcasting. You do a great job. But it's nice to go back and watch, the broadcast and see how good of a job you do. Thank the teammates, Justin, Dylan. We got Scott for this race, Ryan, yeah, and then Johnny. Johnny, without him pushing me, I wouldn't have given him the third. And it's been a fun race, but yeah, that's about it.
All right, Chase. Well, congrats yet again here, and good luck next week at Auto Club. Thanks for talking to us.
Yeah, maybe I can actually win one of these things and actually talk to you first instead of last, second.
2 more chances.
Yeah. All right. Let's see what we can get.
All right, Chase. Good luck, man.
Thank you.
It's Chase Berry, your third place finisher here at Talladega. That's going to wrap up the interviews here. We'll take a look at our race results. Of course, we talked to Justin Wilson, Scott Tompkins, Chase Berry. That was your top 3 finishers. 4th place was Chris Smith. James Danforth brought the 88 machine home to a 5th place finish. Pat Colby was 6th. Johnny Rapp finishes in the 7th spot. Evan Pienta, the title sponsor tonight, he finishes in the 8th spot. Solid top 10 for the 55. Steve Loving was 9th. 10th place was Ellis Thomas. Shane Trotter, who led some laps early, he was 11th. 12th went to Robert Brobst. 11th, Brian Brobst. I feel like these guys finish with each other every single week. Right there at the end. Either way, Nick Saroff was 14th. Dylan LeBeau, 15th. 16th place finisher was Jake Maki. 17th went to Steve Vest. Rye Jones, who was up near the front for a while tonight, and the number 91 finished 18th. Matt Kerkhoff, not the finish he was looking for, was a strong truck early on tonight, right up near the front, but he finishes 19th. Pete Stewart was 20th. 21st, Zach Mitchell. Paul Thomas, 22nd. Tough night for Nick Lucci, finishes 23rd, 2 laps down. Robert Liddell was 24th. William Lyman was 25th. 26th went to the 16 of Brandon Ayers. Scotty Sobczak, 27th. Tough break for him. Picked up a win the second race of the season this year, but looking for a second one. Didn't come to fruition this evening. He finishes 27th. Jay Heischman was 28th, and Larry Poling, the number 69, finishes out 29th, 8 laps down. With that said, thank you guys all for tuning in. We certainly do appreciate the viewership each and every week. If you haven't already done so, subscribe, like, follow, share, all the good stuff. YouTube.com/@HBRTV and the number 1. If you haven't turned notifications on, click the little bell. That helps immensely. That way you don't forget to tune in case you're busy and you forgot to turn on the race. That way you get a notify. And again, please hit that thumbs up. That like button makes a huge difference. It pushes the video, whether it's a live stream or after the fact, out to wider audiences, get some fresh eyeballs, not only on our channel, but also on the Spark Truck Series, and maybe some potential drivers that might want to participate in upcoming leagues. But again, that'll wrap it up for us here at HBR TV. I'm Steve Singer, congratulating Justin Wilson on win number 4 on the season. We'll see you guys next week out at Auto Club. Thanks for watching, everybody.
It was the summer before the real world started, and the deal was we would get to go if we cleaned it up and got it running. That is old Winnebago, and winging a prayer down a 65, 5 best friends on football tires. I can still see Billy smiling when we finally made it to Talladega. Boys raised the whiskey in gold glass. Here's to turning up, slowing down, and cars that go real fast. We were laughing and living, drinking and wishing and thinking as that checkered flag was waving. Sure would like to stay in Talladega. Like a storm, time rolls on. You can't hit pause, that's just a deal. Most days in life don't stand out, but life's about those days that we all like. Rockin' rando, getting rowdy, shooting Roman candles at the man in the moon, till the Alabama sun was breaking. Over Talladega, boys raised up whiskey in your glass. Here's to turn it up, slowing down, and cars that go real fast. We were laughing and living, drinking and wishing and thinking as that checkered flag was waving. Sure would like to stay Talladega. October, I think about us shoulder to shoulder. Like those cars, my thoughts roll over and over and over in my mind. Tonight I'm in Talladega, boys raised up, whiskey in your glass. Here's to turn it up, slowing down, and cars that go real fast. We were laughing and living, drinking and wishing and thinking as that checkered flag was waving. I sure would like to stay in Talladega.